when they have certain things like days of giving for children and stopping hunger and all that, that gives the illusion that the people that hold the world hostage are the saviors and heroes of the world. It gives these kids this false illusion that the people that are providing this illusion are their saviors, their guardians, their protectors, their helpers, right? And I had a thing tonight on the news with I think one of the little girls died from cancer and another one was dying from cancer, and the wish was for other kids to get Christmas presents, right? And they need more money and more Christmas presents. And my wish is not for these little girls to be killed by cancer because of economic conflict and abuse. And they were two little cuties. Okay. And 2009, how many people have died or been murdered because of economic conflict since 2009, since the experts took me to Sierra Vista, and then had Lim Allen come talk to me about Barack Obama. He's a pragmatist. I was, well, all we have to do is stand up for the Lord's Prayer. It's not time yet. They were listening. They sent Brian Manwaring in to talk to me about stuff, and I think a lot of people understood, that I am who I am, but they thought that Rockefeller had made me go astray. And, because of the documentation about Raphael, and that I was him, and that he was the first archangel of the apocalypse, but doesn't do it right. It's because he's not him. Okay, it's the biological father of the Messiah, that they thought had to be engineered, but it wasn't. They were trying to engineer a biological reproduction that was similar to Herschel Steinschneider with Steve Stack and my mother. And then they had to stop that course of action and leave things alone. And scientists, you know how they are. They have to have a hypothesis and this and answer all the questions, and then my thing would tell you what your brain is doing and why is the brain doing this. Okay, but if we are living the applied physics of the Lord's Prayer, would the brains collectively all be acting this way and come up with the same theory and the same hypothesis? And would it be necessary to have the theory and or hypothesis? Okay, to study the brain, to ask why is the brain acting this way? And so, I told you that when John had me watch Big Bang Theory, I was like, it's charming and everything, but the science and the math is off. He's like, you're so damn arrogant. Nobody can show you anything and you know everything. And I was like, no, that's not true, but the science and the math is off on this stuff, which is true. Okay. And I don't care if it makes people mad. Okay. People are mass murdered because of economics and technology that enforce economics on people and cause genocidal operations that are unnecessary. That are unnatural. I won't say unnecessary. Unnatural. Okay. Unnecessary is a necessary action hero because we shouldn't have a payroll because we should be living in Proverbs. Okay, so because it's unnatural. All right. Okay. And so, and I understand I'm the focal point for stopping abuse. And I'm getting better at understanding it, I got to do my little things to survive. I didn't shave and soak tonight, but I will tomorrow. And I get a little behind on things and a little out of kilter and out of whack. That's because I spend more time, being concerned about Amy and the kids I'm concerned about Steffi and Pat too, but they've, kind of locked me out emotionally. Amy doesn't do that, you know. Noah, kind of, yeah, but he's being a boy who, supposed to protect the family from bad people, and it's like, yeah, and I'm not a bad person. It's like, Peter Fabre lied to himself and he lied to you. And I never lied to myself and never lied to them. I was completely honest about everything because everything was under constant, intense surveillance. And there wasn't anything I could do to stop the surveillance. So you couldn't sit there and say, I wasn't thinking this, or I didn't do that, or this didn't happen. Which frustrates me with Patrick because he worked on the AWACS. Because I'm like, you can just sit and talk to me and give me the respect I deserve. Because I do the same thing with you. I don't talk to you about stuff that, you know what I mean? I don't sit there and especially with, them and their moms and, like with Natalie and Patrick, with Stephanie and Amy. So, how can you guys sit there and tell everybody what an irresponsible jerk and a creep I am, knowing it's the exact opposite? And I know your moms know it, but Steffi was psychologically damaged, and they put us in difficult situations, and she couldn't handle North Carolina, and then it just got worse in Phoenix because the collective. That's why Patrick hates Phoenix. He hates the West Coast mindset and the way that they think, and that kind of, that's the, and so he likes, it's like, Texas, seriously. I think he would prefer New Mexico if he lived here, because it's way different than Arizona. But I think he'd prefer Cruces over Albuquerque, and I think he'd love it. As far as, I like the people. They're cool. They have a similar, yeah, well, they're like your dad in a lot of ways. And so, and he understands his dad, and, it's okay. Yeah, we have this respect and this honor code. In Albuquerque, it's not quite so much. Albuquerque's a genocidal killing field. Like Roswell and other places, and Cruces, because it's a military focal point, has to have a establishment of military control, which Patrick finds, appealing. But the thing about it is it's not. It's an illusion. The control comes from truth and fidelity. And you can't have truth and fidelity when you manipulate people with technology and money. All right. So I'm tired, man. But I got my basketball in today more than usual, and my resistance training in. Might have to take a couple of days on the basketball. My wrist is a little sore. I've been shooting a lot more recently, and it's got my wrist a little sore. Either that, or I'll have to just adjust my shot or whatever. I don't know. But it'll work itself out. Everything's working itself out. Different things are doing different things in my body because of the environment and stuff. And we've been through a lot of this kind of similar stuff before. And so I'll get through it again. And yeah. My thing is just to keep, things calm and balanced and do the best I can. And it's I can't expect, anybody in his political, social parties or economic manipulation to step up and do anything right. I have to focus mainly on me and be the focal point of correcting the technology, and understand that. I wish I had more help, but I'm not going to expect it, and I don't. I constantly, yeah, no. I don't hate Barack Obama. I just don't like him. I know that, I got people in my family that literally hate him, and it's not just dad. So and I'm like, hey, you guys don't feel the same way about Donald Trump or George Bush? Same guy, same thing, same lies, same business, same abuse, same money, same technology, right? So it doesn't, it doesn't make any difference. Just like, I don't like professional wrestling because I don't like soap operas for dudes. So I'm no more a fan of The Undertaker than I am of Hulk Hogan or Randy Macho Man Savage, because it's like, no, I just, no. I'd rather watch cartoons, you know. Professional wrestling is like Jerry Springer, Dad, there's nobody intelligent on it. It's not funny like cartoons, right? There's a summer place. He loved that song, so that's theme to a summer place by Percy Faith and his orchestra. He just really liked that. Oh, it's gorgeous. It was one of my favorites as a kid. Yeah. And now I have it on my MP3. I can listen to it anytime I want. Especially when I play the little yellow one. It seems to be always the second song that always plays is theme to a summer place by Percy Faith and his orchestra. I don't know how the sequencing works on that thing. It's loud though. Yeah. It has a different volume setting because of the ear things and stuff. The ScanDisc one has one that keeps the volume setting down so you don't hurt your ears. The little yellow one, has 30, and it's loud. So you can, if you want it loud, but you'll only get it for like about an hour, and then it'll stop working. You have to, in order to charge it, you can't listen to it. The ScanDisc can charge it and listen to it at the same time. The little blue ScanDisc had a little bit better sound quality, but it died because I accidentally washed it. I ain't worried about it. I got my sound, I got my music, and I don't listen to it that much anymore. I mainly make these videos and then listen to them while I'm shooting, and then make another one, and then maybe shoot a little bit more and then go in. So because we made these 3, and I'm not gonna listen to them tonight. I'll probably listen to them tomorrow when I get up, about morning and stuff, and go out in the barn and shoot hoops and stuff. And so we'll just get on a schedule, and we'll just keep it that way, and then we'll just we'll work through this until my schedule has similarities, but it constantly just changes. It does whatever I feel. So yeah, that's what I do. And then I get help and say, you need to do this. And I say, yeah, I understand. But I know we'll get in a lot better way and do things in a lot more intelligent and better way, and a better understanding, and a better, way to do things. When we're applying the Lord's Prayer and physics and stuff. So, so we'll man, I'm tired. But life's eternal and grace is infinite. So I can't promise we'll get through this, but I can promise that I'm right, I'm good, and I'm truthful, and that I won't waver and I won't change to accommodate my ego like the other people that abuse us with theirs. So I think I can guarantee you that. And then I'll keep putting in my best effort to make sure that this technology reflects the eternal beauty of the Messiah, and not the selfishness and the abuse of the people that don't want to understand or live his faith in the essence of truth. And truth is life is eternal and grace is infinite. And when you I think it's it's not as simplistic as you think. Because when you sit and look at it and go, wow, so you don't need a philosophy to understand natural laws for an eternal existence through an infinite essence. You just need to understand how to obey natural laws and how to be just intelligent. And a lot of this crazy crap that people do and are doing is going to be looked at and just it's so unnecessary. Especially people trying to influence people with manipulation through access to human needs, through philanthropy, through manipulation, through technology, and it's causing a lot of brain injuries and a lot of mental and emotional abuse. and it's very unhealthy. And you know, especially like having people having to be alone and abused and live vicariously through TV relationships that don't exist. You know, they just think of the bad brain activity. I understand going to plays and stuff in Shakespeare's time and stuff like that. Because they were trying. I don't know. We've had a lot of collective bad brain activity for more than tens of thousands of years, for hundreds of thousands of years. Okay. And to try to get alone and stuff, they had the stuff with Alan Watts about people being alone and stuff like that. That was in the 1960s and 70s, things have changed since then. We have mass communications, and we have the capacity to be able to have a functional, affectionate life with another human being without being manipulated by people that would kill us because they want to manipulate us with their delusions of power and influence. Okay, guys, I love you. We'll talk tomorrow.